Welcome to This Explainer. Look, today we're putting on our lab coats and stepping straight into a forensic audio crime scene. The victim, your guitar tone. Specifically, that sparkling, dynamic high end that just seems to mysteriously die somewhere between your instrument and your amplifier. We're going to conduct a totally objective, dry, and maybe a slightly cynical investigation into exactly what's murdering your sound. And we'll be relying purely on the uncompromising laws of physics.
You know the scenario, right? You've spent a small fortune on this boutique hand-wired rig. You've meticulously curated a massive pedal board. It's beautiful. Yet when you actually plug in, the sound is just muddy, dull, completely lifeless. So why is that? Well, our prime suspect today is an industry obsession, one that's been heavily marketed to you as the absolute ultimate solution for tonal purity, the true bypass pedal.
I mean, you see this kind of marketing jargon everywhere. Pedal manufacturers proudly stamp true bypass on their enclosures. They promise this magical, pure signal path that completely disconnects the circuit to supposedly preserve your pristine tone. And hey, it sounds fantastic in a catalog. But out here in the real world of electronic engineering, we show zero mercy to marketing myths that deliberately ignore fundamental electrical properties. It's time to toss the brochures in the trash and actually look at the science.
Section 1. The autopsy, the guitar pickup.
Okay, let's dive into this. To solve this crime, we have to start right at the source, because the laws of physics absolutely do not care how much you paid for your gear. What we're looking at is a lumped parameter model of an electric guitar pickup. There's no magic here. A pickup is essentially just a very thin wire wrapped in thousands of loops around magnetic poles. Electrically speaking, it acts as an RLC circuit. That means it has resistance, inductance, and capacitance, all interacting together. Because of those thousands of windings, a passive pickup is what we call a high impedance device. In plain terms, it creates a relatively weak electrical current that is incredibly sensitive to whatever you plug it into.
Moving on to Section 2, the murder weapon, cable capacitance.
So we have this weak, highly sensitive signal source. The second you plug a cable into it, you introduce the murder weapon. See, a guitar cable isn't just a passive little tube that audio pours through. Electrically, it acts as a variable capacitor. When you combine the high impedance output of a passive pickup with the inherent capacitance of a standard guitar cable, congratulations, you've just accidentally built a second-order low-pass filter. The physics here are pretty brutal. As the frequency induced by your vibrating guitar string increases, the cable's capacitance increasingly shunts or shorts out that signal directly to ground. Above the resonant frequency, you get hit with a harsh 12 decibel per octave roll-off. That crucial shimmering high end between 5 kHz and 8 kHz, it is mathematically slaughtered by your cable. And the longer the cable, the higher the total capacitance, which predictably shifts your resonant peak down, just choking the life out of your tone.
Let's look at the hard forensic data here. A typical modern cable has a capacitance of about 100 picofarads per meter. Special low capacitance cables can drop that down to around 70. But look at that last row. In a laboratory test of a 4-meter, 40-year-old vintage cable, researchers recorded a massive 1050 picofarads of total capacitance. Pushing your weak guitar signal through that, it's a guaranteed way to crush your treble and produce a completely dead, dull tone.
Which brings us to Section 3, the true bypass trap.
This is where the marketing myth actively works against you, exacerbating the exact capacitance problem we just identified. Take a close look at this unbuffered true bypass setup. When you step on that mechanical switch to bypass the effect, you are physically hardwiring your input cable directly to your output cable. Sure, you're entirely disconnecting the pedal's circuitry, but you are also instantly combining the lengths of those two cables.
So the crucial point is, imagine a typical live setup. You've got a 15-foot cable going from your guitar to your pedal board. On that board, you've got a chain of multiple true bypass pedals, all switched off. Then you have another 15-foot cable running from the board to your amplifier. Because they are true bypass, your passive guitar pickup is now being forced to drive its weak signal through 30 straight feet of highly capacitive copper wire.
And we don't have to guess what this does. We have the data. These traces from a comprehensive gig effects study show the devastating reality. That top green line, that's a reference trace, just the guitar plugged straight into an amp with almost zero cable. The moment you insert a standard 12-foot or 18-foot cable, you can visually see the resonant peak just drop off a cliff. The cable length alone is acting as a brutal low-pass filter, reducing the guitar's natural bandwidth by nearly a third.
And this brilliantly illustrates the final nail in the true bypass coffin. Look at trace 5, the purple line. That is the frequency response of two cables combined by a true bypass pedal. The bandwidth is almost cut in half. It completely kills the harmonics.
Now, compare it to trace 4, the green line right above it. That is the exact same cable setup, but running through a buffered bypass pedal. The highs are preserved, and the frequency curve remains remarkably close to the ideal reference trace.
All right, Section 4, the antidote, impedance conversion.
The whole pure signal path idea of unlimited true bypass switching is a destructive myth simply because it completely ignores impedance mismatch and cable capacitance. Purists and internet forums will often claim that an electronic buffer is just a tone-sucking extra stage that degrades your signal-to-noise ratio. Objectively speaking, this is nonsense when you're dealing with high-quality components. A buffer is literally just a unity gain amplifier. It doesn't make your signal louder, it transforms the electrical impedance. It is a highly necessary converter to maintain signal integrity over any real distance.
If we look at this schematic of a buffered bypass, you can see exactly how it acts as an electrical shield. The buffer sits right there between your guitar and the rest of your heavy cable run. Whether the actual effect is switched on or off, the buffer remains active in the chain, constantly presenting a stable load to your guitar pickup. Mechanically speaking, here is why a buffer is your best friend. It has a very high input impedance, often 1 megaohm or more, which means it draws virtually no current from your fragile pickup. But on the other side, it has a very low output impedance, usually under 100 ohms. It acts as an ideal voltage source. It actually possesses the electrical brute force required to push your signal through long, highly capacitive cables without breaking a sweat. It physically decouples your pickup from the parasitic load of the cable, forcefully stopping those high-end frequencies from bleeding out into the ground.
Finally, Section 5, the forensic verdict.
Well, we've completed the autopsy, we've examined the weapon, and we've found the cure. So here's the logical, physics-based setup for your signal chain. First, accept that true bypass is not always best. Chaining them together literally just builds a massive tone-choking capacitor. Second, place a dedicated, high-quality buffer, or a buffered pedal, at the very start of your effects chain. Let it do the heavy lifting of driving the line to your amp. Third, limit your overall physical cable length wherever you possibly can, because physics still applies. And finally, mix and match your pedal types based on how they actually sound and interact with each other. Show absolutely no mercy to purist marketing myths.
Think about it. If you're plugging a passive guitar into 30 feet of wire through 8 true bypass switches, you aren't actually hearing your expensive boutique pedals. You are hearing the suffocating weight of cable capacitance. So we challenge you to look at your rig through the uncompromising lens of physics. Check your impedances, measure your cable runs, and ask yourself the ultimate forensic question. Are you playing your pedals, or is your cable playing you? Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and we'll see you for the next investigation.